you know. So I think Star Wars will never, get to that place where, there was some creative that had a, good combo, like a body to edit. I mean, like in...
There's the example, I don't know if you've seen, like, Avatar The Last Airbender. And then Legend of Korra afterwards. It's like...
Did a big contest.
The whole first show had this, like, head writer who was kind of, well, seasoned and a good writer and did a lot of other shows and, like, was the main sort of driving force of Zuko and so, like... And then they, like, didn't have him again for Legend of Korra. Like, the directors who created the series became, like, the writers and directors. And because, like, they thought, or, like, like, let's give them loads of money and make the show, it'd be great. But it's, like, they're not that good writers.
They didn't have the most important person, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, that smells like they were trying to recreate the success. And they thought they had all the ingredients, but the ingredients that was missing was the other person, right?
Yeah, that's what I've been saying about why some corporations buying other corporations or subsidiaries doesn't make any fucking sense because they don't know who they're buying, and who they're buying is the actual important part. You don't fucking want the brand name necessarily. I mean, you could do things with that too, but it seems like a lot of people don't understand what they're buying.
Yeah.
I mean, the product is a product of a person, right? And then, like, or more people, of course. And there are some key people that you need to have for that product or that IP to keep being that product.
I'm just consistently surprised by how few people have an eye for talent. Like, they don't know who's important or who actually has the potential, and it seems like people are easily convinced by snake oil salesmen, and they don't know people who are genuinely good when they show up.
Yeah.
Not that I necessarily could do that either, but it's not my job to. So I'm just surprised when I see people who are supposed to and can't.
Can you notice that someone is good at their job? Isn't that something that is, like, almost the easiest thing you can do in your life, to just notice that someone is good at something? Like, that's insane to me that you would deny that someone is good, right? Or, like, pretend that you are better, or, like, I don't know.
No, there's a lot of people who take credit for other people's work and do a lot of shit talk, and then you can't always supervise what people are doing, so you can't verify easily. So I understand the problem. It's just that, again, if it's your job and you're putting your money on the line and the company's reputation and survival on the line, you should make sure that you're getting the right people. But it seems like this is such a... Oh yeah, fuck. It's actually kind of funny. I basically watched a documentary, a mini documentary about a publishing house. And basically, it got insanely successful because it had people you might have heard of, like Isaac Asimov or J.R.R. Tolkien, right? This is the publishing house. And the entire reason it got successful is because they had an eye for talent. They could see who would be successful. They helped them out to, like, pursue and achieve their success. And was, like, one of the most successful publishing houses of all time, still to this day, despite, like, only having, like, this short period where they had, like, a real focus on finding the talent. So, like, clearly it has value, but very few people seem to see the value.
I think there should be more businesses that are just looking for people that care about their work and just spending money on them. Like, just like, they have energy, right? Like, at some point in their life to do good work, and they have passion for the work, then that's the sweet spot for letting them create products and, like, whatever you think or define a business, right? Like, why isn't that, like, there's a lot of investment, but investments are based on data instead of people. No one goes, invest money in people. It's more like the idea or like the business viability and all that bullshit. Like, and like, of course, it works on some level, but it never works on that same level that you mentioned with.
Yeah, but
like
buying an
Tolkien
idea,
style.
like you're usually not buying a design document. You're buying the person who writes the design document.
Yeah, but often the case. It's more about the product these days. Like, oh, it's aligned with previous success. It's aligned with
it's
trend
always,
or
like, to me, it's always about the product, but the point is who can get you that product, and it's not the design document. It's the person who wrote the design document, because he still has to oversee the work and make sure that it gets done in the way that he intended in order to have the vision realized, and thereby getting the product that you want. Yes, no, maybe.
I mean, yes. I mean, the product, like
I feel like everybody should have focused on the product, but some people have more influence on the product than others.
Imagine if you had Tolkien in your like investment round or whatever, pitching round, whatever. How would you know that they care about that product and they're really good at their job? Like
that Tolkien cares?
Yeah. How would you notice? With like 10 people pitching your ideas.
Well, in this case, the Jesus Christ, the person who was in charge of the publishing house was a writer themselves. So they had experience. They knew what was involved. And
yeah, but
obviously that would help.
But even me, if I meet like Tolkien and then I meet 9 people that have the same idea, I wouldn't be able to recognize the Tolkien from the 10 people that I met. Like, even though I'm a game developer or I'm a writer or whatever, like, I wouldn't know which one is capable of doing, that, thing. Like, it's maybe the writing would be a little bit better in one or the other, like the sample, and that's what most people use, like,
but the point
or
isn't
showreel or
whether or not you know every success, but if you have familiarity with it, you have a higher chance of getting a success. But that actually relates to what I was talking about in the other circumstance. Like, people in games, like publishers, it seems like a lot of them don't even like play video games, and still they're in charge of making those decisions. It really doesn't seem like it makes sense. But okay, do you have any experience with meeting the people who are in charge of those higher executive decisions, like company or publishing level?
No.
People, damn it, because I feel like I need to know what the fuck is happening there, because I keep hearing about people at that level making decisions that don't make any fucking sense. Where, again, like, you're 80% done with the game, and then they say, oh, you have to turn this into like a multiplayer MMO when it started out as a single player. People are like, what the fuck? Where did this come from? And then it completely fucks over the vision. People have no idea what's going on. People have to scramble to put this into a completely different game. Like, people quit because they don't want to deal with this. And it's like, why not just finish this game and move on to the other project after the fact, instead of trying to gerrymander this thing into something that it wasn't meant to be in the first place? And again, I just keep hearing that it's because of those people that are making those decisions. But then again, like Concord didn't seem like it was that sort of decision. There it just seemed like the directors actually convinced the other people that all this shit was a good idea, even though most people looking at it just went, ugh.
I think it's just pure greed, and like the decision makers don't really understand the context of the product. They have no market kind of knowledge, almost, like they or because, like, in terms of quality, like when you see Concord, it's like it's done well, but like, of course, the design is off the charts in terms of what people wanted.
Yeah, it didn't have any appeal to people, so following through was a bad idea.
But the quality of the execution that was there, the vision that was there, was good. Like, it's It's not that the studio wasn't capable of doing that.
No, but
You know,
it's
making that
no, but they
game.
wasted people's capabilities by committing to a bad idea from the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's why you need to have people who like have some business acumen, but also actually understand the industry that they're trying to invest into. Because if you don't have that overlap, then you're investing blindly, which means why would you even? People can like trick you left, right, and center. There's no point in trying at that point.
But you have money, and you saw Fortnite, and you want Fortnite kind of money. So.
Oh yeah. And then there's like the fucking trend chasing thing, which I still have wanted to see if I could make an article on.
Honestly, like
curious.
if you think about it, like there are only 4 games that like shaped the industry in the last 10 years. Like what was the direction of the industry? Like Minecraft, then like Fortnite, most likely PUBG or DayZ. Like they're basically the same-ish. Maybe DayZ is a bit more hardcore than PUBG, so most publishers were like, yeah, let's do PUBG instead. And then what was the other? I mean, survival games was the DayZ. DayZ is more like a survival game, and PUBG is more like a battle royale game, and like Minecraft is more like kids. The audience are the kid, like for the kids. So it's like all of these games basically just informed every producer's or like investor's decision to invest in something that is similar. Like, and imagine like all these people that are working in the industry, and they're seeing all these 4 games like have so much validation in the market, on the market.
Sure.
Like they all wanted the same validation, like, and they could do it better. Like PUBG looked terrible, DayZ still looks terrible, and like how easy is it to just make a better version of that, right? Like, but the first
I mean, the more time you give it to become more successful, like people seem to forget, like games, like especially games like these, don't stand still. Like you're trying to catch up with a moving target. They're also going to develop in the meantime, which is why you really gotta make sure that you're planning on beating them on their own game before you actually go in. You have to fucking commit.
Yeah, of course, but people committed a lot of resources and can expect it for it to be a hit from the get-go, and they didn't really spend too much time. Like, the amount of investment put into PUBG and Minecraft by the time that they started was just like, I don't think you could overrun that, like, commitment and like market investment, commitment, and like staying power with it. But like Warframe, but like Warzone came out maybe like a year after PUBG or something like that. Maybe I can take a look, but like that was the only one that actually caught on with Apex, and I think they were like the best timing. Like they had the best timing for that, and then everyone else just didn't have any chance. Like Warzone was like,
yeah, but has it made the same kind of money? Because I know it's successful in terms of okay.
Like Warzone and Fortnite. Fortnite was 2018.
Like the amount of money
and
that
Warzone. Warzone was 2020.
There is no escape.
Order guide you.
Busted.
Apex Legends 2019.
Gotcha.
It's just that the amount of money that Fortnite has made is like actually absurd, and trying to compare it all has been not so.
What was the next kind of battle royale after that?
I mean, I don't know the sequence. Not something I paid attention to.
Okay, the first is Battleground, PUBG, then Fortnite, then Total Accurate Battlegrounds.
Oh yeah! Don't think that made money.
Ring of Elysium. I mean, I remember that coming out and it was already too late.
Telegram,
Yeah. It was basically almost a copy. So if you had a franchise and got the ideas to do the same thing, like maybe a year or two after that first game, then you made it. Like you could actually get a following, but a year later after that it's just too late. So maybe you have 2 years to follow the trend or like chase trends. After that it's maybe too late.
Yeah, I wanted to basically see if I can get information on the success of trend chasing over the history of gaming. To see how effective it is, because I keep hearing success stories about game companies that are just like seeing gaps in the market and going for that instead of chasing. Yeah, and it seems like the success they get is like pretty substantial, especially if like there's a gap in the market and the game you're developing is scalable monetarily, such as Hearthstone. There wasn't really a game on the market like that. The production cost was next to nothing. The amount of money that's made by comparison is fucking nuts.
Yeah, and I think that's the only way how to actually do well in the industry. Just like find the gap in the market, get maybe like 10 good people that know what they're doing, just let them spend like 3 years and hope for the best that the gap doesn't get filled in those 3 years.
Basically.
And the idea is original enough in some way, like Borderlands or Valheim, you know, with the art style or something, like a differentiator, and you are like quite likely to get, if people care about their work, you will most likely get like get it back, at least get it back, if not like have massive success. If it's like a 10 developers, right, then how much does it need to, you know, earn to be a success? Not that much.
Yeah, but
unless you're working from California, maybe then it's quite expensive.
Like I said, I want the statistics on this, because it does seem like there are a lot of games that have seen like moderate success chasing trends, like being very similar to a lot of other games. And then there's also how, even if you have some games that fail spectacularly, some of the return on investments you have on these game types make it so that it doesn't make sense to try and make any other games, because even if 9 out of your games fail, if you have one success, the success is so massive that it makes up for the other 9 failures. And that's why I actually want to do research on it. Because if you have a Fortnite, you don't need to make any other games. Fucking hell, the money making you're doing from that alone is insane.
I think that was the strategy of most companies after Fortnite. They were like, we're just gonna do the same thing but with different genres and styles and just hope that one of them sticks.
How do you mean? I don't know what that actually translates to.
like they took what Fortnite was or PUBG, right? And
You mean a battle royale?
Yeah, well, yes, I guess, yes.
And
And
I
like
thought you meant
they
with like other genres, but I don't know.
like extraction shooters and all that, like also these days, right? So like they just make 10 versions of that, like in different universes or settings or, you know, timelines or blah blah blah, like tones, art directions. And if it's like 10 of them on the market and like one of them survives, then yeah, of course, maybe it makes up for the 9 failures also. I don't know. Honestly, that seems to be the strategy from what I've seen.
Yeah. Again, I don't know either. I just have the
Instinct.
belief. I'm
Yeah.
speculating that that's the case. It feels right to me, and that's all I need, baby.
Yes. Like
That's how I'm gonna operate until proven otherwise.
like what is the game from your past that you haven't seen being made and you would play it again if it was made in a modern style or way or production? Like
Warcraft 3. Okay, here's the problem. Like, I liked StarCraft as well. Like Brood War, like the way they actually had story interwoven into the gameplay in those games was fucking fantastic. What? Because you were operating with entire nations and factions, and you also had like a set amount of characters that had insane levels of influence on where the story took. It felt like a grand epic narrative because entire nations got taken in different directions based on the decisions that some of these characters made, where like an entire kingdom could fall or get pushed to the side or had to move or like ally themselves with other people because of the pressures that they would put on others and shit like that. So like the scope itself was just huge, but it also felt like insanely well executed. But then you have shit like StarCraft 2 coming out where, hell, it's about time. Time to kick this revolution into overdrive. I'm like, what the fuck? This is nothing. Like, the subtle mastery they had of the storytelling in the previous games. So there's a modern rendition that completely fucks up everything that actually made the previous games good.
yeah, because
it's
that's what
not
we talked about, right?
So it's not a, well, yeah, but there's also, there was a gap in the market.
Surface level understanding, right?
Sure. But also there was a gap in the market, and I think the game actually was, I mean, I don't know what their expectations were, but it made a return on investment. I played it. I had fun. It had been a while since I played an RTS, but it didn't
hit the spot, right? Like it's not.
It didn't do the things, like it didn't do everything successfully like the previous games did.
I mean,
And
even
that's
Star Wars
kind of why
when it came out, right?
Star
Even
Wars.
Star Wars when it came out, the new one, right? Like the Force Awakens new
Oh
trilogy.
yeah. It was like, oh, this is what people want, right? And then
Revenge of the Sith was like what, 2008 or something like that. And 15 years there was no Star Wars, basically, right? Like maybe some animated or whatever.
yeah,
but
but
like
I think it's a mistake to assume that there is no substitute for Star Wars. Like there's enough goofy fantasy sci-fi. Like I'd even say that like anime cannibalizes that shit, even though I know that's not something you're into. But it is like a fantasy setting with certain tropes and structures that are absolutely mimicked elsewhere. Like it's basically a space adventure. That's the basic structure of it. Like we talked about the what is it called again? The hero's journey structure that is found in Star Wars that is very archetypical.
So, well, like even StarCraft, it was just a different. It was like a certain type of game that wasn't made in that way. But like even strategy games were not made in a long time. Like in that high of a.
But it's like the thing that surprises me is how often I play games, or maybe other pieces of media as well, where it feels like there's been some design by committee shit where the actual vision has gotten compromised at some point, or the vision wasn't clear to begin with, which is why it's so rare where I see games. Like, for example, I just got impatient and I just watched a playthrough of Breath of the Wild, and it's fucking nuts to me to see how many things that game gets right, where it doesn't even make sense for them to try and get it right. Like, you don't play that game for the story, but they fucking nailed that department as well, where the way they reveal the story is like very minimalist, but it makes you curious, makes you want to find out more. They reveal very little about the characters, but when they do reveal something about the characters, it has like a twist to it, or like hints towards something else that you want to find out about. Just like, it gives you like the raw elements that makes storytelling itself interesting, and just like gives it to you. And then you have the actual game itself, where the fucking I don't even know how to describe it. Like, the mechanic of building something, like making an invention from scratch, I thought would seem cumbersome, but it's so fucking playful that instead of being like a gimmick that you would get tired of, you almost get excited every time you find an opportunity to solve a puzzle using that shit, because you can get so creative sometimes that it just looks absolutely apeshit. Like, seeing a montage of one of the YouTubers like creating some of the most stupid inventions to solve the most inane problems is some of the funniest shit I've ever seen, because the problem itself is like so easy to overcome. You don't need the machine in the first place, but he insists on making the most convoluted contraption in order to solve the most mundane problem. It's like inherently funny. I'm just glad a game like that exists. But it's fucking insane seeing like an open world adventure game basically combine elements with the incredible machine, is what it seems like. That old ass game, where you're almost trying to create like a Rube Goldberg effect with everything you're making, where like everything has to be timed perfectly and executed perfectly in order to achieve. Ah, shit! Everything went to hell. I really want to play that game.
Yeah, like
So like again, it's just it's been a long time since I've seen a game where it hasn't had like some
creativity and
no, like maybe it's like straight up some of the embarrassing shit, like some cringy, something that really detracts from the experience, where I'm just like, how the fuck did this make it in?
I mean, it's like Goat Simulator style, like puzzle solving, kind of like just idiotic gameplay.
No,
I would call it.
Like, you can get
But
generally creative, but like in Goat Simulator, you're fucking literally throwing your body at the problem. But here is like you're giving a set of components to put together, but like how you put them together is up to you, and like what people come up with is really funny sometimes. Especially when it's like the absolute bare minimum. Like they give you 50 components to create like the most cockamamie contraption you can think of, and then people just like, I will put this rocket on a plate and launch myself at the objective. And then like you just see the fucking thing go completely out of control, but they still somehow make it, and they're just like, hell yeah, nailed it. It's so fucking stupid. So like succeeding by luck still seems fun, but it absolutely does reward creativity. As far as I can tell.
I really liked Portal, you know, games like about problem solving together and just having fun making shit up together. Like, I can imagine Zelda would be even better if you could like put together some kind of contraption together, and then it would like work, even though like one of us had like a really terrible idea. It's like,
I mean, that's why it works as a multiplayer game, because
There is no escape.
there's nothing stopping another person from trying to solve the problem with you, so you can both sit on the couch and try to figure out how to solve it, and it seems like it's just as rewarding.
yeah, but I didn't feel like they really pushed that ridiculous idea making that game. Like it was in
No,
Portal.
they still try to take it. Wait, in Portal?
Yeah, I'm talking about Portal, like co-op puzzles, like trying to solve them together.
My bad.
Shine down.
You did a Portal 2.
Things are about to get
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't thinking Portal. I was thinking in
So
I almost said Tears of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. Because
because
both
that's
you
not
and the
co-op,
person
right?
no, it's not. But you and the person sitting next to you, like you all see the same components. You might be thinking completely different things, so discussing it gets funny. Whereas like, dude, I know
Yeah.
exactly how to solve it. And the other guy's like, dude, I know. I just put a rocket on myself and throw myself. No, what the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah, that's like more like what is it? Backseat gaming, whatever.
Yeah.
Like different
But it
type
lends
of-
itself natural to it and doesn't. It feels like it's made for it. What the fuck do you think Isaac's doing right now?
I don't know. He's gone. He's most likely putting his penis in a car exhaust. Okay.
I mean, I'm sure the cars are fuckable enough quite yet, but maybe we should ask him.
Not yet. Soon.
Wasn't he the one who got offended by us insisting that you fuck the robotaxi?
I don't know which.
And now we're putting it on him. Like, dude, Isaac's so weird trying to fuck that robotaxis all the time.
So bullying.
Yes, sexual predator, but with cars.
quietly now.
It's a BMW fetish, most likely, right?
I mean, that's definitely the rapiest car.
Yeah. I mean, you get what you look for, I guess. Alright, I'm gonna go to bed. Enjoy the podcast and our lives being ruined online. If you, if you
Well,
keep
I
it
got
there.
good news for you. I forgot to activate the stream until just recently.
Okay. So after all the
Yes,
terrible
all your
talk.
ad words are safe. It's fine.
Okay.
Thank God.
Didn't even deny it. You might want to do that. No,
I
guess
have
not.
never said anything with the intent to harm, offend, or create controversy.
But did you say the N word though?
Not yet. I'll say it.
The fucking yet part. I don't think that was necessary.
I'll say it right after I leave this chat.
Okay, well, good. At least you
Very,
got
very
timing down.
loudly. Okay.
Loudly and proudly. But oh no, the spooky. Isaac, why don't you involve yourself in the conversation?
It's not interesting.
Solidify.
I can make it interesting then.
Nah.
You
Don't like
fuck.
talking.
You should.
Nah.
Isaac, you better start talking.
A, B,
What are you even doing?
C, D. Just
Wow, it
Nothing
really is
extra.
like having Chat GPT.
reading articles.
What the fuck?
Growl, growl, growl.
Why?
Looking at Pinterest.
Double why?
Reference images.
Yeah, feeling inspired.
Eh.
So Pinterest
What
really
you
doing its
think?
work. Go to play some Genshin while chatting. And then I realized one of us didn't bother chatting.
Or streaming Genshin.
Yeah. So I keep my hands busy.
But then you didn't start the stream.
Rub it in, why don't you? It's on now. What do you want?
I want someone in your chat to shit talk.
Oh, well. Perfect timing, Isaac. They just showed up.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
Ericate. Or Ericate. What's the new place? Oh.
One man's stone
Weird demand.
is another man's gem.
Can I bring this? Nope. Okay, well. So you're not gonna talk unless there's somebody to talk shit to?
Oh, there's a topic to talk about.
Do you have a topic that
think-
interests you?
I'll think of one. Or what I've been thinking about. I don't know.
You remember doing stupid shit as a kid? Top 10 regrets. Given to me.
This conversation. Top 10 regrets.
Say Eric easily. Okay.
Well, I don't know about regrets because you kind of learn shit and things, but mostly be like dating stuff.
I mean, isn't that part of the process for regret? You regret things because you learned that there was a better way of doing it, and I'm like, oh, fucking.
But then so you wouldn't known without doing it.
Yeah.
So it's like if you could like swap out that situation with one that's like less, I don't know,
Judging.
make someone else suffer for less or something.
Repeat that?
Like, oh, I've learned that I don't like to betray people, but then like
Fucking, why do you go to sociopathic shit like that? You have to
it's
learn
just
that
an
the hard
example.
way? Is that what I'm learning today?
like the idea in this example would be that
Another
like,
man's gem.
oh, I learned not to betray people by betraying someone. So if I
Yes.
could go back and like still know it's bad to betray people, but then like
Oh,
not
dude.
actually betray someone. you
That's
know?
kind of funny because I just heard about somebody having an experience like that where I don't how to put it, because of people's age they don't realize what they're doing. But there were like some kids that were saying, "Okay, we're going to party," and there wasn't enough room for everybody. And then people just like started moving toward like
Where do you want
like
to go next?
moving into the car.
Mhm.
Osmanthus
But then one of them just got left behind because of that. They just stood there out in the cold. It's like, oh, well, fuck me, I guess. It's like, that's a pretty significant form of betrayal. People just like shrug. It's like, well, what else was I supposed to do? Stay here and be a friend? Anyway, sorry. Hey, Isaac, you were here to read the comments, remember? Question, I don't know if it's rude, but if you're in EU, do you mind helping me in artifact domains? Because I have a bit of a rough time in level 80 domains. Trying to build with Tainari. See, there's their biggest mistake, building Tainari.
Like to see Liyue's Taurus
I am in
spikes.
EU.
I have
You could try
Fuck
adding me, I
Tainari.
guess.
few references.
Fuck Tighnari. Okay.
Should be Thinari, because thick thighs save lives.
I ain't never trust Tighnari. Okay.
I don't know why you have strong opinions on it. You don't even know who the fuck that
I
is.
fucking hate Tighnari. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Betrayed me.
I see everything.
Isaac, how did you learn how to betray someone?
What else could I talk about?
So what, you've always been able to forgive everything you've ever done because, oh, you know, I was a kid, nothing matters, blah, blah, blah.
This gift could be
I
from.
don't say forgive it. It's more the issue of like,
Yeah,
I
but
feel
most
like
of that shit
anything
comes
will-
with age. I'm saying, like, at the time. Like, for example, that example I just gave with the kids who are just like, oh, well, I want to go to the party, and then they don't think about how, oh, we're going to have to leave somebody behind.
yeah, but then like, I don't know if I like. I'm trying to think of any regrets I have.
Okay.
I feel like it would be more to do with like regrets of things you didn't do. So like,
What?
say like when I was younger, I just stayed in my room and played games all the time. Like I should have
Isaac,
gone out
please, please. Too close to home.
more. So yeah. So like in the sense of like, I should have like my friends went to like music festivals for like weekend and things, and you camp there and it's like an experience. So like, I never did those. So like maybe I would have done that if I like went back. But then yeah, I think or it's like but then it's things you don't know what would it's like oh I should have, asked that person on a date or something. Or like all this kind of stuff. But like it might have been worse if I'd asked them on a date, you know what I mean?
Always
So
with the
it doesn't-
date.
It doesn't really enter my mind of like
Isn't regret the belief in a better possibility? How do you define it?
yeah. But my life is so perfect, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, Isaac, and I'm very
Yeah.
convinced. Like, thoroughly.
I think in my mind it's a case of like anything else that I could have done differently might have been worse. Because I don't know what would have happened.
Of course.
So it's like I don't think of it like, oh, and like I can't think of something and known that it would have been better to do it a different way or something. Because either like you learn something from it, which I wouldn't want to not know now. You know what I mean?
Sure. What kinds of rationalizations?
Yeah.
But do you believe them?
Yeah. I think so.
Oh, lucky!
It's just like I can't really. No, I just don't think about regret really.
Okay. Have you never thought about regret?
No. It's literally just been like kind of I think of it purely as more a case of like I've got new data to add to my understanding. It's like I
So
don't
you
really-
forgive all faults, is what you're saying. You never think I should have known better.
No, I do, but then again, it's like that is also a case of like, why did I? If I knew better, why did I act still? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of part of the question.
So it's like,
Do you have an answer?
I think maybe a lot of it's because like, say I knew, I kind of, say like deep down, something.
I feel like linking a podcast where they talked about how people misunderstand emotions a lot of the time. Like they don't know what they feel because they don't operate with the same definitions. Disappointment is when you tried your best and you don't succeed.
But in the end,
Doesn't even matter. What the fuck? You turning this into Linkin Park when it started out as Coldplay.
I think it's a mixture of like I think one thing that I've done or I've done recently once or something is it's kind of like leaving things vague so that like it's like, say, let me think of it like an example.
But I'm not saying about something you regret today necessarily. I said like, if you can remember having felt regret at any point.
Feeling regret.
Because you could always like look back at something and then have corrected it mentally. I mean,
I'm trying to think of something significant, not something that's just like,
another man's gem.
oh, I
have to be
bought this today
significant.
and there was a 10% discount the next day. Oh, I regret buying it. Like nothing like that, but
yeah, sure. Well, maybe.
maybe.
Like, how do you? It depends on how you feel about it. Like, maybe it's a fucking issue that you feel stupid about shit like that, and you're unforgiving. I don't know. I'm asking you. I don't want to decide whether or not it's significant.
But I feel like most of the time I get in, like, say I get into a situation and then it like changes and I don't like what the situation I'm in anymore and I want to get out. So you might think that like, oh, I regret, you know, getting to this point. But then
Sure.
usually it's a case of like, I don't have all the information and then I get it all. And then it like, oh, I don't want to date this person anymore. I don't want to like work here anymore. I don't want to like, so it's not a case of like, I've actively
I see everything.
like ignored
Game's up. Fun's over.
like the right information.
Quietly now.
Kind of. Or it's kind of, I might regret something, but usually it's because it's like unintentional. Like, well, that, I think I explained it at work where I was just like, I've had people where I've just been discussing things, and then because I'm quite like detached from like I like slip between like hypothetical and real topics where like there was someone there I was saying that like
Everything has to be expressed through examples and metaphor.
yeah, or like I upset someone unintentionally without even realizing it.
Yeah.
And like but then looking back, it's like when they explained it, it's like, oh yeah, you could definitely interpret it that way. So it's like, oh, I'm like I didn't mean to upset. Like it wasn't. And so then afterwards, it's me explaining my way of thinking. You know what I mean?
And you feel like you should have caught it.
No, I don't know because it's like maybe, but
But maybe
it
not.
was weird. Well, the situation was basically it was think of it like this: like say me and you are like in a class together, we're like at school together,
Okay.
and then the teacher tells me like, oh Isaac, there's a club after school for like maths and you're really good at maths, so I think you should go to that club, right? But then
Okay.
she doesn't tell you, right?
Okay.
But then and then so I
Burn to oblivion.
later on tell you that like say for example
I think
and
never
then-
intended to invite me, Isaac, and it gets real awkward.
No. So like, say, so I've been told about this, you know, maths club, right? And you haven't. The next day, we're
You
having
need to
another
tell me about these maths clubs, man. You can't fucking
Sure.
leave me out. Okay.
me and you having another conversation, and then
Well, we'll see.
say it's just about a conversation like, you're like, oh, I don't, like, say you're like, okay, I don't bother studying for maths because I'm so good at maths. Like,
Classic me.
like, 'cause I don't need to study because I'm really good. Like, I'm the best at maths, right? And then I say to you, like,
Classic me.
I say to you, like, oh, you know, maybe that's like,
Stabilize.
like maybe you should study because there's things you don't know about in maths. Like, you might be really good at all the stuff you can do in maths, but maybe there's something like more advanced you don't know about yet. So like, you should like, and then so like, I'm
And
trying
then I
to
take Hierophants like, you don't know the power.
Is another man.
no, but then while I'm having that conversation, I'm like, oh yeah, because you're like your overconfidence. Maybe that's why like the teacher told me about these extra fun maths classes after school, and she didn't tell you, right?
I can't believe this, Isaac.
And so and then you interpret it as like I was just then really mean to you because I'm basically saying that you're bad at maths. That's why the teacher didn't tell you about the maths class, because you're like really shit at maths, right? That you've like interpreted it that way, right? Like you've like interpreted it like
Sure.
I'm saying you're shit at maths because the
Maybe you should
teacher
stop
didn't
doing
like
that,
say.
and we wouldn't have these problems of...
So that's basically what happened to my work, where it was like someone thought that like
You meant something that you didn't.
like me like
There is no
me giving that example of like, oh, maybe the reason you weren't told about this extra thing is because you were like, you're not curious enough. Not that you're like bad at maths. You're bad at something, it's just you're not curious. And so the person didn't tell you about this extra stuff because they thought you wouldn't be interested, not that you were like shit at maths. Right?
Sure.
And like they've interpreted it really bad, like, oh, like
They interpret interest and talent or competence
Yeah.
as the same thing.
so basically it seemed they basically thought I brought up
Shat
a
all
thing.
over them.
I basically said to them like, oh, the managers think you're like really bad at your job and you're not worth trying to like, you wouldn't be capable of something else. Like you're not capable of a promotion.
Hell yeah.
They would have told you otherwise. Like you're,
Fucking
like,
owned them,
useless.
Isaac.
Stone.
And I was like, I'm in my head. I was like
Oh.
I did not. That was like, but so for me, when I was explaining afterwards, I was like, my opinion. Like I think that person could easily do that promotion, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like, but then it seemed like she was more upset because it was like she thought I had a low opinion of her,
From
or
Silver.
like I
Quietly now.
thought she was dumb, or like I sort of
All true.
was like, I was just like confirming that she's like bad at things and incapable of stuff.
curiosity deserves.
Whereas it was like my opinion of them was like she could do anything, right? Like it's like,
Wow, that's very supportive.
well, like she thought I
That's
had-
more supportive than her parents.
Yeah. Right, so it's like-
Anything.
So it's like I had a really high opinion, but then she didn't know that. She thought the way I was explaining something meant that I had a low opinion. Because I was almost like bragging about, like, oh, she didn't tell you or something.
I like
So
this,
then,
Isaac.
so coming back to like the thing of regret, it's like that's
Yeah.
usually the situations I end in where it's like, it's not like I'm intentionally doing something knowing it's gonna like potentially cause a problem, or it's like I know I shouldn't steal that because I could get caught, but like
Things are about to get
it's I just end up in a situation where I didn't
Or I should
intentionally
betray people because it might come back to haunt me.
Yeah. It's like you think you walk into a supermarket and there's apples everywhere, and you think,
Certainly worth
Yeah.
the extra mile.
Okay. What do we have? Full on disconnect here?
on.
Yeah, you have to repeat that. I basically disconnected there. I was like, I full cut for almost 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You there?
Did,
Yeah.
did you hear my story about the apples?
I'm gonna go with no.
Well, I was just saying that, like, the situations I usually end up in is that, like, imagine you've got a shop and you walk in and there's a pile of apples, and because there's no like sign that says the price, then I assume that they're free, so I take a bunch, and then I walk out and someone comes and is like, "Where are you going? You have to pay for those apples." And I'm like, "Oh, well, there's no sign." So that's the thing. It's like I just end up in those situations because it's like misinterpretations or like difference of opinions or thinking and stuff.
One man's stone is another man's gem.
Do you think you're bad at reading people? Or do you think these are normal
Not really. Like,
miscommunications? I gotta be honest, I think most people are bad at reading people. Like,
I
fucking
think,
horrendous.
yeah, I think I'm like average, maybe a little better than I don't know. But I think what was I was going to say is like I think I'm. It seems to always have end up in problems when I'm having like discussions about things with people. It's like there's someone at work or like before where like you're talking about like
Go on then. Sure,
It's
like...
like- or it's like jokes that go too far or something. It's like you make a joke about like, oh, you know, your boyfriend doesn't like you and something, and they've just had like a massive argument the other day and they almost broke up, and then you're like, you didn't know, and then you've like made them cry, and it's like, oh, fucking hell.
Nothing beats saying your mama joke to somebody who doesn't have a mother.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
always a
it's like
classic.
that. It's like shit like that, but
Everyone hold hands.
but then it always seems to be like
Busted.
I can't imagine myself in a situation where like someone would say something and I would like
Unsolicited, and all the more valuable.
have to leave the conversation. You know what I mean? Or like have to like get annoyed or angry and like stop the conversation.
Wait, you have to leave? Sorry, I probably lost a heck of an important part there.
I can't imagine
You can't imagine. Okay.
myself in the same situation where like you make a joke that's so like, oh wait, this upsets me so much I have to like hang up. You know what I mean? Or like I start crying. Or it's like. So it's
we talked about this earlier. Like, I pretty much always make the assumption that if somebody says something
One man's
that's
stone is another
hurtful, I just
man's
assume that they're trying to make a joke.
yeah.
Because I have a hard time imagining somebody being like intentionally antagonistic. But like, what makes it really funny because when I notice, ooh.
Yeah, because it's I get the same at work.
I'm like, because it takes me like so fucking long that I'm just like, hold on.
Osmanthus
Is he
wine tastes
actually
the same
like
as-
trying to pick a fight with me? Like, there's just something about like that thought process that makes me giddy, and then I fucking go
Yeah.
all in because then I don't have a reason to take the other person's feelings into consideration.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ, if they were mad with me before,
Yeah. That's the kind of situations that I have at work sometimes where it's like they're kind of like they're annoyed us for something and I keep like I'm like explaining it and giving them more information and like they keep trying to give counterpoints to like get their way and I just I always have the response and it's like and it's like I switch into this mode where I'm like hyper focused on like coming back at their responses.
yeah,
It's like, and then because I'm so like matter of fact, it's like they kind of don't know what to do. They kind of like I don't know. It's like they just kind of. I don't know, like they like get flustered. But then because I'm so just like deadpan and calm, they don't know if it's an argument or not. They're just like they think they're talking to like a robot, but then
gee, I wonder what that feels like.
yeah. But then so it's like weirdly
I think of a joke about this whole time, and then you just fucking say, "Yeah, people keep confusing me with the robots. It's real weird."
but then because I'm so like focused on them, it's like
Uh-huh.
it's like
Focused on them.
I just stare. I look at them in the eyes, right? It's like it's like a creepy
Okay.
robot.
Because I won't break eye contact.
Yeah. And it's kind of, and it's funny when you kind of like preemptively figure out something they've like done wrong or like a mistake they've made, and then it's like I make it more. I slowly lead them to the realization of like the mistake they've made. Instead of just telling them, I let them like figure it out on their own and like get more and more annoyed. Even it's like I'm leading them to the understanding in a way where they're like it's like forcing them to like face the problem they've had, like their own like failings, basically.
Oh, look at you being the teacher, huh?
But that's how
No,
I feel like. That's how I feel like. It's like sometimes at work, it's like I'll just think I'm not gonna like help the other member of staff
Yeah, because fuck them.
because like
Because
it's
fuck
basically
'em.
like it's like a learning situation. It's like they aren't doing things correctly, and because I'm not like their manager, I can't be like, hey, you did it wrong, you should do it like that. Like I can't tell people off because we're like, you know, the same position or whatever.
Rank.
And all the more
Yeah,
valuable
rank.
for it.
But like it's kind of like I feel like I'm like you're forcing them to learn because they won't learn any other way. You know what I mean? Like the bad experience will make them remember. It's like letting your kid touch the fire, so that they
Okay.
like understand that fire is hot and it burns.
But you're the fire, Isaac. You're
I'm the
inflicting
fire
pain.
and the parent and and the room and the fucking everything.
My parenting burns with the fury of 1,000 suns.
I basically trap the kid in a room and bring out a match and then make them touch it.
Can't believe you're not a parent yet, Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I do that to like people, like visitors, like, you know, members of the public. And,
I thought we were about to say members of parliament.
well, they visit
Well-
the gallery.
They get an earful too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stabilize.
Yeah.
Everyone hold tight. Illusion shattered.
So it's like I could make their life easy, but I'm not. I'm gonna like teach them a lesson.
Did Dragon Queen do anything interesting while she was there? Got a feeling the answer is no, but better check in. Yeah, you said, oh, look at who dropped by.
Unsolicited. And
You
all the
showed
more
her-
valuable.
No,
Showed a
she's
beautiful
nice, she
JPEG.
just walked around. Yeah. She just went into the.
Wow,
exhibition.
dude, that's such an interesting story. I'm so glad you told it.
Yeah. I checked her ticket.
Damn.
Wink,
Was it good? Was it a good looking ticket?
It was white.
So yes.
So that's all. That's all that really was. You know. It made a nice noise
When you
when I scanned it.
about to say wiped it, that's not.
Swiped it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't even say that. I said wiped it like it was wet and you had to clean it and dry it off for her.
Yeah. She had blood all over her from all the innocence she
Ah,
killed.
well, given the most recent season, though, it does make sense.
Yeah. She's really short.
Well, that's not surprising either.
Yeah. Well, most people are short for me. So.
Okay, of course, like you're literally twice the volume of her, I think.
Yeah, probably.
So then, which part should be surprising here?
I don't know, I just always think like people in TV shows and movies look big, and then you realize they're all tiny.
Ah, yes, because they got larger-than-life personalities. Haha, get it? Woo, yeah, woo, funny joke.
Certainly.
Really bring it home. Comedy 101, baby.
How tall? Past Game of Thrones. How tall is the Hound?
Shorter than the mountain. Okay, sorry.
Okay, yeah, he's like 6
Is he
foot
6 foot though? Yeah.
6. So
Wait, 6'6"?
10 centimeters taller than me. I'm 6'2".
The Hound.
2.5 centimeters per inch. 4
The
inches taller.
Hound?
6'6". Yeah.
Is that tall?
Yeah. 198 centimeters.
Here comes the catch. Gotcha.
Okay, 6'5". Still. So he's as tall as my dad. Okay.
Does everything have to be about your dad, Isaac? It's really weird.
It doesn't. It's just my. What do you call it?
I just measure everything in
word?
terms of my dad.
It's the comparison. You know. Something that I can relate to.
Dad is just my preferred metric. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Well, usually when I would always like when I'm trying to figure out like the size of a room or like a space or
I
something. I always
used
do
my
it.
dad. Dude.
No, I used like double beds.
Okay,
I'm like,
sure.
how big is that kitchen? Like, how many double beds could you fit? in
I was hoping we actually would fucking completely commit to your dad being the perfect metric.
I carry like a cardboard cutout of him every
Yeah,
night and fold it
exactly.
out.
No, you just know it by heart. That's even creepier.
Oh, yeah. It's like I know his like volume.
Dimensions, like yeah, like you've done. What is it called?
I basically
measurements.
measured a coffin out for him, basically.
Making plans already, are we?
No, but it's the right. It's basically the right measurements, right? Like
For the
square
coffin?
volume. Yeah. It's like how much you want, like in a
I measure
square.
everything in my dad's coffin.
Yeah. In father coffins.
Christ almighty. We should send this conversation to your dad. You'd love it. No. Doesn't have that sense of humor, does he?
He does. Yeah.
He sure loves a good dad joke, especially if it involves coffins.
I think your stream stopped.
What, completely?
Can you hear me?
What, did it cut out? Like, did it just happen, or what do you mean?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Yeah, your stream is just like loading. Okay, it's back.
I mean, it could have frozen. Like, we have a fucking storm here. It might be
Yeah.
electromagnetic too, but we had a flood warning, so I had to fucking carry a bucket back and forth from our garden because it's too low and doesn't have proper drainage.
Mamma mia.
That was fun. We might drown. Fine.
Aren't you on like a hill?
Yeah. But we're in a divot.
Oh,
The bottom part of the house. Yeah.
is that why your house was like cheap? You got the divot. You got the divot price.
Fuck you, I like the divot. It makes it feel private.
You'll drown.
Not every day.
It's like it's like a crazy rainstorm, and then everyone lives on a hill, and there's like your one house is like
yeah, but then we
flooded.
have a pool party. Okay, let me alone. Fucking...
It's like the one fucking house is just fucked. Everything else is fine.
Like I said, it's not like we're drowning every day.
How big is the divot? Is it just like just around your house? Remember?
It's like the size of a shoe.
Like a giant shoe.
Like a tiny shoe.
Okay, next topic. What do you want? What do you want to talk about? I always wanted to know.
Your mom, do you use her to measure anything?
Nah. Only in comparison to my dad. He's like 0.7 dads or something. I don't know.
You'd use your mother to measure other women. Like this woman
Like
is
how-
0.8 of my
like
mother.
personality.
See, I don't know. Like leave it vague. It makes it funnier. It's like you even tell them to their face, like I'm not sure we're compatible. Why? Because you're like 0.8 of my mother. It's like, what does that mean? It's like,
And then
you
she
never
says something
elaborate. It's like good thing or bad thing. Like I'm too much. Like what are you fucking implying?
then you say you get creepy and like say she says like something. Say she's like, oh, you know, I really love to cook and you know I want to have children. Then I'm like,
Oh, dude, I love to cook.
0.9. I'm like 0.9. You're going up. You need to hit number 1. It's like only except women who have a range between 0.75 and 0.8 or 0.9 of my mother.
And all the more valuable for it.
I feel like some people do that. Didn't we watch that fucking Undateables where people are just like, can't help but notice you seem to be going for types that are similar to your mom.
Yeah.
It's like, what? No, I don't know what you mean. Like they were all older than him and... Yeah.
Isn't that the thing?
One man's stone,
Isn't that
Hag maxing.
man's gem.
Isn't that just a normal, like a common thing, like marry and get with people that are similar to parents and stuff?
A lot of people point that out. I think one of the funniest things like that was a cousin of mine had a girlfriend with the same name as his mom, and I was like, ugh. that's gonna be awkward.
It's rough. It's like you could maybe like, because you wouldn't really say it very much, because you'd be like babe and love and stuff. You'd like
Would you though?
you wouldn't really say the name so much, I guess.
You'd hope.
Or you'd like abbreviate it, I guess. Like,
I don't think it's the most important part. I was like, it's prone to awkwardness.
instead of the same name, instead of calling the like, you know, Jenny 1 and Jenny 2, or like Mum and Jenny, no, you just call them like Mum 1 and Mum 2.
Hell yeah.
Just get fucking creepy with it.
Let's get mommy with it. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Okay, next topic.
Okay, fucking pick one of you then.
I don't know. Let me think. What have I been thinking about?
I mean, we were
recently?
talking about regret. I'm not sure we really.
Okay, regret. Have I felt regret?
Any.
Probably,
Recollection?
but not like. My understanding of regret is like something that I would want to change,
Sure.
but then I feel like I don't. There isn't anything I'd want to change because I feel like I've learned from things
One
that
man's
were
stone
bad that I
is
won't
another
change.
man's gem.
And because of the learning element,
Yeah.
again,
But
you can't remember having felt this. You've always been this lenient towards it.
I
Like,
don't
oh.
feel as. Let's say I'm in a situation. Yeah.
This is about you having your fucking latter half of life reboot thing. Like, I can't remember anything from my past. I have amnesia. It's like it didn't exist.
Like or it's kind of more of like I don't
Yeah.
in the moment say I did something. I don't know if I would call it regret when it's like oh, I wasn't looking and like dropped a plate and like ruined like someone's food or something. Like I would feel like bad for like them because they don't get
One thing
it
that should be
anymore.
very typical is that a lot of kids just see what they can get away with. And then they do something that's pretty selfish, even though they know they shouldn't. And then there's consequences, and they're like, "Oh, I should have known better, really." Well,
It's never been caught. I think.
it's sociopath.
Yeah.
You can switch topic if you want. I'm just...
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about it. I don't know, really. Like, because I don't really.
Okay, when you look at other people, what do they seem to have regrets about? Can you recognize it in others?
I see it a lot, maybe with like. They have like emotional outbursts, or they kind of.
Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, you don't really have that, so it makes sense.
No. So like, or they like got something across in a way that they would prefer it was got across in a different way. It's like, say someone like, I'm trying to think.
Don't do that. Heal, Isaac. Heal. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, say like recently, it was like I
the
think
hate flows
at
from here.
work. So like there was someone who they were having like a bad day sort of thing, right? And like they were they were like busy. They had like a deadline to do something, so they were working on it. But they're still, you know, like working in the gallery, and they have to like help customers and stuff, right? They have to like be available, you know, to people. And like if like someone needs help with something, they have to go and help them. So like they had a deadline. It was like they were writing some document. They had a deadline, so they were working on their document, and then someone was like, "Can you help me?" Like asking for help, like not like some other member of staff. And then this person was like, "No, I'm not going to help you. I have to do this." It's like, "No, I'm not going to." I'm like, "I'm not like."
Not doing the job.
Like I'm ignoring you. Like I'm like, find someone else, right? And it's like there wasn't anyone else, and then they were like, you know, members of the public that needed something, and that's why the staff member was asking for help. So it was kind of like, you know, part of the job that you're supposed to do it, right?
Sure.
And I was doing something else, like listening to this happen, basically, right?
Quiet now.
And then
Then you told him off.
and I was basically saying like, you can't ignore them. You have to help them. And it's like that. And they're like, oh well, I need to finish this document. There's like a deadline. It's like, well, that's not as important as right now. Like this needs to, you know, you need to do what you're supposed to do, right? Like you can't just ignore people and just like shout across the fucking.
You can't just do
You know.
one and not the other. You have to do
Yeah,
both.
you can't ignore your responsibilities, right?
Sure.
And then they got like, they just like, you know, not freaked out, but they just got like overwhelmed and just like walked off and, you know, just like abandoned their post, basically. So they were just,
That's fucking phrasing.
yeah, so they were just like, and they just, you know, and like the way I spoke to them, it was kind of like harsh, I guess, but like, it was just, I basically said like, yeah, you need to do that, but yeah, it doesn't come, you know, it's not more important than like what you're supposed to do. It's like you can't just shout across the room that you're not going to help someone. You can't ignore them. It's like you need to do this, right? So I was being very like, just kind of talking at them, right? And then they got overwhelmed and left, right? And then it was basically a case of like, I like apologized the next day because I was like working with them again, right? Even though in my mind I didn't feel the need to apologize, right?
Sure.
I purely did it because it would just like make
Life easier.
things, yeah, life easier, right? Even though it's like, it seemed that they were just being immature, and
Sure.
they just randomly got like, you know, flustered and overwhelmed for like no reason. So like,
worth the extra mile.
I felt
And you
awkward.
regret apologizing.
Almost. It's kind of like, it's. I felt like, you know when you have to like go on stage and like do a speech, like I'm gonna like, I felt like I was acting. I was like, I have to make this apology seem as if I'm genuinely mean it. So I was like awkward because it felt as if I was acting and pretending to apologize. So I was like worried
And
that I'd
you
get
were,
caught.
Isaac. You didn't actually care.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I felt awkward because
You were awkward.
I was trying to make sure my lie came across convincingly, that I was lying about apologizing.
Welcome to my life.
Yeah, so it's like that situation where
Is that
like-
regret?
no, but it was like I did talk to them like quite harshly. Like I know that they were overwhelmed and they're the kind of person that gets overwhelmed easily and they
You
get
mean
stressed out
bluntly?
and things. Yeah, like bluntly. So it's like, but it's almost the same. It's almost like saying like,
Things are about to get dicey.
like, I know that they're not good at their job, so I should have been like nicer to them because I know they're not good enough.
Inazuma shines eternal.
So it's like I'm like, I regret upsetting them and like making them feel, you know, I can see in them that they're like sad and panicking and like stressed and like overwhelmed and
And
like
that's the part where
suffering.
you pretend to care.
So it's like I felt bad about making them feel that, but like it's almost their own fault for feeling it, right?
Sure, that's a great way of phrasing it.
Like it's kind of like they should know better, right?
They should feel regret.
Well, no, it's like they didn't apologize to me, so it's like, well, not that they should, because it wasn't really like they did something wrong to me specifically. Like they just weren't doing their job properly. But like, it's kind of, it's like I had to talk to them bluntly because like they weren't doing what they were supposed to. So it's like if they were doing what they were supposed to, I wouldn't have had to talk to them bluntly, and then they wouldn't have gotten upset.
Sure.
So it's like, I felt bad about them, seeing them actually like visually upset, because I know what that feels like being like overwhelmed and panicking, basically.
Sure.
So like, but then it's hard to say that if I like regretted doing it, because I felt like it needed to be said. But then,
Sure. You just regret the way you said it?
yeah, I guess, because it's kind of, or I could have just,
You see a better alternative.
well, like, the alternative is basically I could have just done her job for her, helped that other person.
Spoke to him afterwards.
Spoken to her later, yeah, and said like,
Unsolicited.
why did you, you know, you shouldn't, when they're not, you know, in the deadline or whatever, and I just explained it to them. Like, I could have, you know, not caused them to, like, you know, get overwhelmed. But then,
Let's give them an aneurysm and a mental.
but it's like they put me in the position as well to, like, solve their problem. Because it's like, I'm doing something that I'm doing my job, and then the other person's doing theirs, and then the person who's got that deadline, you know, got overwhelmed. They weren't doing their one. So, like, I have to then take on, like, I have to do double the amount of things now, because they're not doing what they're supposed to. And I have to, like, inconvenience loads of other people because you're not doing what you're supposed to. So, like,
Yeah, fuck them.
yeah,
You tell them, boss.
fucking babies.
I think you mean bitches. Aha! Am I right?
But then, yeah, but I think I'm weird compared to most people, so.
That's neither here nor there.
Yeah. Or it's just like the way, like, people, like, we're having a whole bloody, like, restructuring of, not at work, and like
Man's gem.
there's a whole new like software update to the thing everyone uses, so it's all different, and then it took people months and months to learn it because they're like not good at computers, and I just like learn it in 5 minutes, and so like it's like they,
Fucking people, am I right?
yeah, it's like, it's weird for me to like get into their mindset where it's like they're asking questions that like
You find
I would
obvious.
never need to ask, right? It's like, it's just so obvious. So it's kind of, or like I'm,
As
it's like, I don't know. It's like I'm,
There is no escape.
order guide you.
it just feels like I think like 2 or 3 times faster.
Who this gift could be from?
But then,
I know that feel.
but then it's not even just that. It's like I think differently as well. So it's like say like at the gallery, there's this like front desk, and there's like 4 different computers for people to use to like information and stuff. And I basically feel as though I sit there, and while I'm helping one person, I'm like listening in to all the other things that are happening, and I'm like
One man's stone
multi-track,
gem.
like sort of eavesdropping on everything, and then like doing all of them at the same time. So like I'll be helping one person, like I'll be helping a visitor, and then while I'm doing that, simultaneously listening to someone else having a problem on the other side, and then the member of staff can't help them, but I've already figured out what the problem is, but I can't like cut this conversation off because I'm serving someone else. But then like
Kinda
I
sounds
can
like
hear
ADD.
them. I don't know, but it's just like
Like you're not focused on one task, you're absorbing information from your surroundings that implies a lack of focus.
but then it feels like I'm focused on everything. Not that I'm
Sure.
not focused.
I don't care how you feel, fuck you.
So yeah, it's just like
Yes.
so it's like I don't like say like these conversations we have where we're just like you can talk about anything and just like back and forth and just like switch topics and da, da, da. It's like every time, like the times I've done that at work, and it's those
Ends
situations
poorly,
where they like
yeah.
miscommunicate or like they think
Classic.
I'm like talking about them specifically or da, 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 da. So, yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. And then they're like,
Valuables.
well, they ask me, oh, how's your, what do you do in your animation stuff, and what are you working on? And I'm like,
Oh yeah, and they feign interest, and then once you start talking about it, they
Yeah.
just try to get out of the conversation instead.
it's like, I can explain it if you want, and then they're like, yeah, go on, and then they just,
That's just fucking. That's fucking Einstein's violin all over again. Talked about this shit before, right? Where he realizes like this isn't my what the fuck is it called? This isn't my audience. It doesn't make sense for me to talk science with these people, so he just brings out the violin. It's like, hey, did you know I could do this?
yeah. That's exactly what.
You
So
have
for
to
me,
save them from their own fucking vanity. Where it's like, no, I definitely know the science. Oh fuck, I'm dumb.
so that's literally what I do. Is like the conversations we have. I just talk about them the whole time,
Right?
or I just try and be funny. That's it.
Yes.
So it's like I don't bother talking about myself because I do. Well, the issue also with me is because I'm very like I don't do anything else. I'm like I work and I work on my Blender thing, and then I go to the gym, so I don't really have much going on. There's not really anything to talk about.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Yeah. Well, but then it's like you can't.
No,
and
it's
then
like,
no-
we've seriously had periods where we're just like, okay, when I tried to bring things up, so you're like, no, this is dumb, this is stupid, and there's nothing to talk about here. I was like, okay, well, fucking hell, help me out, brother.
Yeah. Well,
Well,
what else can we talk about?
I mean,
Well, the thing is, like when you want to do these talks, you stream, but then the things I want to talk about, I don't want to have on stream because they're like.
oh, okay, well,
They could be
you
like
also haven't
evil.
used to have that problem, so it would be nice if you told me that then. So I would know that you now have a problem. You nonce. Nothing to do
Leave the
with the
children
topic.
out of it. Okay.
No, that's what you need to do.
No. Okay. What I do with the children is not important.
Noted.
Yeah. Oh, let me think. Like, I know that I want kids, right?
I'm waiting for that to become the topic now. Okay, cool.
But then I feel weird. I feel weird. Like,
Just adopt. Fuck it.
no,
No, Isaac, you're getting old. You need to get to it.
no. I'm
Just
aging
get a
like fine
teenager.
wine.
Nothing weird about that. Just hire a teenager along with you.
I would do this.
Perfect phrasing.
It feels like is there a cliche that like men don't want kids?
Kind of, yeah.
Then I don't get like why.
Like they're scared of having kids. Like the responsibility cold feet. They don't have the same sort of bonding immediacy that women have. I also think women are encouraged and talked about it, like it's more culturally relevant for them. Like people don't talk to the boys like, oh, you're gonna grow up and kids one day is gonna be the best thing ever for you and shit like that. They do it with the fucking girls though.
Maybe in the old days where it was like, you must have a son for your bloodline. Or
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
yeah, but even then it's treated different. But then it's not like about you being a father,
an
then it's about you having
achievement,
a legacy.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah.
I will have order.
Was there a point to this? Why did
Well, no, so like, it feels like it's like I feel odd.
wanting
that-
kids?
Yeah, or like like I know I want them, and then it seems like it would be fun, right, and enjoyable, and like good, and like it would like make my life better, and
Shit.
yeah, and it's like, and when I used to do like the teaching assistant stuff
Yeah.
at primary school,
Yeah.
like it was more fulfilling and like interesting for me and like enjoyable, just like teaching and like.
Why'd you quit, man? Huh?
Well, they fired me. Well, they didn't fire me, but they're like they couldn't afford a teaching assistant anymore.
Okay,
'cause they
sorry.
lost their budget.
I
So,
fucking that's something you should have praised that they couldn't afford me.
yeah,
It used to be so fulfilling, but they couldn't afford me, so I just quit.
yeah.
Like something here doesn't add up, but okay.
Yeah. So like, it's just kind of, yeah. It's like, it just constantly feels like
Yeah.
I'm always like different than other people. Like I'm never gonna fit in anywhere. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like, and then
What does fitting
weirdly,
in mean?
Extra mile.
I don't know. But it's like I never get to like I can never have like flowing conversations, which is what I like to do.
How come we don't talk that often anymore?
Things are about to get dicey.
Cause
I'm gonna put this on you. I just gotta let you know.
also because like I'm like I only have like 2 days off a week, and then I have to do loads of stuff, so it's like I don't have much time. I guess.
Find anything
But
you
then
like?
Yeah, but it also feels like it's easier for you to just open up a game. And again, when I had the experience where it's just like, fuck it, everything's stupid and nothing's happening, and I'm like,
but I think it's because you. Well, no, not
oh,
you,
you're
really.
putting this on me. Sure, go ahead.
Well, no, I think one part of it is just the streaming, just
Oh,
because.
okay, yeah, fuck you.
Just not. It's like this range because, like, say I'm talking about something, I can't be so specific. Like, this person at work, this name, or like, or I change the examples. because
Isn't it
maybe
fine
I-
speaking of it in Megatees though? Like,
Yeah, no, yeah, but I have to like think like change the
or fix it,
example. Yeah. Like come up with an
or
alternate
make sure that they
metaphor.
can't trace it back, so to speak.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'll just make it vaguer, so it's like explain. Then also like say there's topics like
Unsolicited.
about
All the more valuable
religion
for
or things like that. So it's like I don't really want to talk about that stuff streaming if it's like it
Okay.
could be easily misconstrued and things.
Yeah, but we've talked about this shit before, I think, so I didn't realize you had a change of thought.
Well, no, like
This journey has its final day. Don't
I
rush.
don't know, like I think one of the other issues is
You
literally
don't want to pull an Asmongold, is that what you're trying to say?
like, literally all I do all the time is just think about my Blender project thing. So like I can't really talk about it because it's just me like
First of all,
figuring
it's
shit
difficult to
out.
talk about because it's
Yeah.
fucking visual issues.
Yeah, visual, or it's like complicated, or like I know more about the specific thing in Blender than you do, and then like you don't.
Yeah.
You can't work on it in the same way. Or
I
whatever.
still find it
So,
weird
like,
that you can't crack open some of these odd elements to find, like, get access to the code that I know is there, and then thereby extrapolate to get the results that you need.
you probably can, but
Yeah.
it's just it's long. Like,
I feel like you need that.
yeah, yes and no. Like, it's more to do with like
Unsolicited
it's like something I can do
or valuable for it.
maybe in the future, because like I'm thinking of it more of a case of like I'm gonna make like version 1, so I can actually start like planning, you know, movies and visuals and do animations and characters
Sure.
and things, and then you know when that's like that takes off and I can have money or like more time on it or whatever and get input from other people or something, and like so like progress that way. So like because I'm kind of bored of the fucking just making this fucking thing now, so like I want to do some animations and characters and
Yeah,
stuff.
that's the shit that I struggled with on all my projects. Like, I felt like all I was doing was creating the things I need to get to the good part. And it just feels like there fucking is no good part. Everything's suffering.
Yeah, that's literally what like I basically made like version 1 of like the body. I'm doing the head now, right?
Oh, we are going to talk about it.
Huh?
We just talked about how we can't talk about it, and now we're talking about it. Is what it feels
Oh
like.
no, well I'm just still vague, but like, so like, I'm making the head. So like, once the head is finished, it's like, I can have, you know, like a character moving around, right? And I can just stick some hair on it and like basic clothing-looking stuff, or just like characters that are
World's your oyster.
yeah. So it's like I can actually start doing animation things or test, like using it to make visual things and try to test out, you know, if the style looks good and whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, because all I've been doing this whole time is literally just like technical shit. It's just like
It's boring after a
building
while.
in. Yeah, it's just like it's been like in 2 years almost.
Get on
So
my
it's
level.
like- so like, but also the frustrating thing is like because it's what I want to do. Like I like doing it, like want to make stuff and like I want to talk about it and like people ask me about it and like I can't show them anything really, and so it feels as though like
Yes, I'm sure.
say I could have like a character that I can change, you know, design it and make it do animations and like plan a scene in a movie and stuff, then I can, it's like it's more easily digestible by people for conversation where I can be like,
Yeah.
what do you think of this design? And they're like,
Exactly.
oh, I like his hat. I'm like, well, if you did it this color, like, so it's kind of, they're
Yeah,
never
I mean,
going to be
I've
interested
had
in the technical side.
the same issue where, like, people ask me about the game, and then I was like,
Things are about to get dicey.
well, the thing I've worked on this week doesn't make sense because it's all parts of other parts that need to come together for them to make sense. Like, telling you I made, like, plans for level design here, and then I can't fucking show you what that actually looks like in practice, or what the game design idea behind this is just too abstract. And then here's the coding I did to get me closer to that. You don't know how the fuck to read code.
No, exactly.
And then there's like the overall idea that I really like, but then that requires me to talk for like 20 minutes straight in order for me to actually
Yeah.
put the point together. And you don't got to sit around for that shit.
No. So that's is the win. Yeah, it's the same situation.
So
So,
like every conversation is just a lose-lose.
yeah. So
Those are great.
yeah. So like I've tried before, say like I would talk like some of my like movie ideas and TV show ideas. So like I might with some people talk about like there's some people at work, you know, they like draw and they like to read fantasy and things. So they can talk about that stuff. So then I might talk about like one aspect of one show or something like you know, just the magic system or something. So like you can kind of do that, but then you always feel that like they're kind of they're not in they're like sort of feigning interest in a way, like, or they just kind of you can't
Not
there's
real.
there's an amount you can kind of go deep, you can sort of go to a certain level before you have to go into that like talking for 20 minutes straight explaining it, you know.
Yeah, I told you about this before, but people are very bad at actually being interested in other people or their own interests.
Yeah.
Which to me is weird because that's what makes people interesting. So if you're not interested in that part, why the fuck do you care about people?
Yeah.
It's like we're talking about the fundamental drives in people, and people just show complete apathy because, well, this isn't what I do in my free time, so bye.
Yeah. Because like, yeah, I've said it before, where it's like a lot of these conversations turn into like, did you make it all yourself? Like, is this something you can make money from? Like, is this da, 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 da. So kind of, yeah.
Like the old conversations on YouTube. How do YouTubers make money?
Yeah. And then what was it? It was like the area where I've had like more able to talk to people about things is where obviously you're talking about them or other people.
Yeah.
Right? But then also when
Narcissists.
if I explained to you before where like I would like I think visually, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah. And like I explained before where like when I'm trying to like when I'm meeting new people or getting to know someone, sometimes I'm like I use like visual metaphors in my head to like figure out their personality. Have I
think
explained
so.
that before?
Not sure to what degree.
Like I think I forgot like a simple
Like how
example.
I'm a fucking disgusting tentacle monster.
Kind of, but that's not so much like I get like yeah, well like, but it's not as you're not disgusting. It's like
I'm a sexy tentacle monster.
you're basically a mind flayer, but like without the,
Whoa, okay.
like a Cthulhu mind flayer kind of thingy. Yeah, dude.
yeah, I mean, way more flattering, thank you.
Yeah.
Quiet.
But then it's like the reasons that I think that you are that character have like logic.
Is that
to
I
it,
eat
right?
brain?
No.
I feed off of other people's intellect.
That's the thing. It's like it's nothing to do with. It's like you look like a mind flayer, but you don't have any of the like. I eat brains and I'm psychic and I like, you know, breed from turning other people into mind flayers. It's just that's
Sure
the
about
vision. They have
that?
like tentacle, you have a tentacle face basically.
Cool.
So yeah. So
so
like
truly
but
the
when,
best of both worlds.
so when yeah. So I'm at
None of
work.
the power, all the disgust.
Yeah. So when I explain that to the like people and they're like really interested in that and like
Certainly worth
when I give them examples like, oh, let me explain what this person like what vision I see when I think of this person. And then I like explain what all the different like visual things mean and da da da. And then like they're interested in that, right?
Or are they
And-
pretending again, Isaac?
But they're interested because it's like
This is about them.
it's kind of like psychology mixed with like I don't know.
Personal
Dreams
trauma.
Yeah, I don't know, it's like perceptions and like I don't know, like
I don't know either.
inside someone's head or something. But then also they always want to know if like I have one for them.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like some of them I do and then some I don't, and they're like, why not? And then I say, well, usually it's when there's people that I don't understand and they're like confusing to me and I have to like figure it out, and I like they just do things that are different and act in certain ways that I'm like trying to kind of
And
understand why
comprehend.
they act that way. So then so they take it as like they're
It's
not
a coping
you're not
mechanism.
you're not complicated enough for me to like care about thinking like your personality isn't interesting enough for me to have
Yes.
to figure out.
Don't
So you're
even
just
hesitate.
nothing.
Fucking Soldier
Yeah.
Boy, tell him.
So that's I basically say to them like no, but like it's more of a case that like maybe I don't know you enough, or like I haven't spent enough time with you, or like I haven't.
I'm not sure why
like-
being complicated is supposed to be a compliment, but okay.
Well, they want a cool visual thing about themselves,
Yeah, of course.
or like they
Now
want
tell
to
him to
know.
fuck.
Well, they
Only
want
I
some
get
inner.
one.
They want to know if their like inner self is perceivable to the others. Stuff like that.
Cool. Nerds.
Yeah. But then,
Let them know that your bestest friend in the whole wide world is a fucking squid.
yeah. That's the thing. I can't really talk to them about fucking Nero show because it's like murder and rape and fucking gods and like people getting cut in half and dragons eating
I
people.
don't know. Game of Thrones is very popular. I think they'd understand.
Yeah, but it's not. It's like not the like sexual shit where like the main character is basically like
Just throw some incest in there. I'm sure they take it
have
a
I got
grain of
incest?
salt.
I think I've got the incest in there.
Good to know.
Well, I've, like the whole setting is like inherently based on like not like no incest because there's this like
Right.
the core. There's like a core like religious, not like philosophy, but like there's basically like that permeates through the setting in like a lot of the like way the cultures behave or like the philosophies they have or religions they have. It's like it's all about like two things coming together to make something like one thing that's like better. So it's like because in that world you get like gods and souls and races like merge and become new ones and stuff.
Yes.
So it's like it all comes from there where there was like so
Solidify.
I see everything.
the sort of sex crazed demon thing characters I have, they can't like breed with each other. So then
Why are you
there's no
explaining it to me
incest.
again?
There's no incest in that race, okay?
Okay.
And then in the like goblins that fucking eat everything, they don't sleep with each other either. Well, they do, but like they like treat each other nicely, but like no one else. They're just like zombies to everyone else. There's no incest there.
Yeah. So instead of giving you the list of things that are incest, you decided that the list of things that aren't incest is shorter and therefore
I don't think there is any incest in my setting. So people might not be interested in the way they are Game of Thrones because there's no incest. I've replaced the
True.
incest like with like rape and torture and like slaves.
yeah, nobody's into that. That's nobody's kink.
Mm.
Stabilize.
But then it's a bit.
It's all about those sexy uncles.
But it's usually the bad stuff happens to me as the main character. Well, not me, but like the main character.
Me, the main character. Well, not me, the main character.
Yeah. Well, Nero. Yeah.
Do you see yourself as the protagonist?
Not. It's not. It's not. It's like.
I just mean in life. I don't even mean in your story.
The protagonist.
In general, are you the protagonist?
And
Are you the
yes and
protagonist?
no, I guess. I don't think I'm the protagonist, but like I'm the only person I care about. So I kind of am the
Wow,
protagonist.
truly the best of both worlds.
It's like I'm not interested in anyone else's story, so like I'm making myself the protagonist. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
Certainly worth the extra
I
mile.
have no idea.
It's like you
tell
play
me.
Skyrim and there's just like a random dude walking about, and then he's the protagonist now, just because like in his head he's the protagonist.
Yeah, isn't that for most people?
Yeah. So I could be, really important and have like greatness in my future, or maybe not.
According to whose life? Yours, theirs?
Me.
Damn, son.
Hmm.
Do you think people would see you as narcissistic if they heard this? Oh no.
Yeah. Well, I always get confused about like definition of narcissistic.
I mean, there seems to be a lot of colloquialisms.
Mental health condition, people have an unreasonably high sense of their own importance.
Yep.
They need to see.
Like if you have a conversation with them, like it almost always seems to turn around
back
to be
on me.
about them.
I feel like I'm the opposite though. It's like,
Sure.
like every time I have a conversation, it's like it's never about me.
Same.
So it's like I guess I would like. It's not the case that I'm like I want the conversation to be about me, and I've just like given up. It's like for me, it's more like I feel like I would want someone to have a genuine interest in me. And
No,
want
that's
to,
even
like,
worse.
want to know about me. So it's not like it's like I want an admiring audience. It's like
I don't want attention.
I want like someone's genuine interest in like.
And what does that look like,
Affection.
Isaac, huh?
Osmanthus
Yeah.
wine
What the
tastes
fuck's
of
considered
knows?
genuine interest? Hmm?
But where are those who share?
Wants to spend time with you or something.
Oh, Isaac, you love me?
Weh. No.
Here you are, spending
sounding
time.
rough.
What?
Well, I spend more time with myself, so.
So you're a narcissist.
No,
Isaac,
'cause
I
wouldn't
think
a
most
narcissist be
people
like
time more
hunting,
spend-
but
I just think most people spend more time with themselves.
wouldn't a narcissist be
Have
like?
you ever spent time without
Yes.
yourself?
Oh yeah, I put a hat on and like give myself a different name.
I believe that character's in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah,
Mad Hatter.
yeah, that's me. No, I'm not narcissist. I think what would people?
No, I'm not a narcissist.
I think people would think I'm trying to be funny if they heard this conversation. Like maybe they wouldn't be able to comprehend how like
He's
little
not
I
a
like.
narcissist. Ha! Funny joke.
Like, I think I'm just like detached,
Who isn't?
but like
But
from
like,
everything. It's like
Sure.
I don't care about anything apart from my own. Like I care about myself and like things I want to make and do.
That sounds nice. What's that like?
But it's like I would like want someone to care about, but then I don't genuinely like feel it, you know, because I haven't found anyone. You know what I mean?
Do you genuinely care about things you care? I didn't understand the phrasing.
No, is it like I care about myself and my things and what I want to do, right?
Mhm.
I would want to have someone in my life that I care about, like wife and kids and da da da.
Sure.
But then it's also I feel as though
Aren't you an
maybe
uncle?
no, not yet.
Really? They have.
No. I've got like cousins with kids, but that's not really. Like none of my brothers all have like partners and shit in houses, but they don't have any kids yet.
Do they feel time running out? You should start pressuring them.
Well, two of them are younger than me, so then.
Dude, it'd be so fucking funny. Like most people get enough pressure from like their parents and in-laws if they have that. Like, oh, I think it's about time you guys have
I need
kids.
to
And
be
then
an
you
uncle
show,
now.
and then you fucking show up. It's like, I want to be an uncle. Fucking get to it, boys.
Yeah. I'm very
Boys,
creepy, but it's
apparently
fine if
they're
I'm a
gay
creepy
couple.
uncle. Right? Yeah.
They'd struggle with having kids, I think,
Yeah.
as homosexuals are prone to do.
But I haven't really asked my brothers really if they want kids and shit.
I've really asked my family if
They want more family.
yes.
Maybe they're worried that they'll get like, you know, someone like me.
Oh, dude, I'd be hella worried.
Hell yeah.
Take it easy.
What do you mean?
Like they'll have a son and his personality will be like me.
No!
Nah.
What do you mean? Narcissistic and apathetic?
Yeah. Sarcastic.
Oh no. Nobody
That
could
was
deal
epic.
with sarcasm. Bane of my existence.
What was I saying?
One
Narcissist.
man's stone is another
Yeah.
man's gem.
What
I
would
don't know.
people think if they had this conversation?
Yeah, what the fuck were you saying about that?
What was I think? Like, because
They think
at
you were
work,
joking. What do you mean? Like, what part?
they think I'm just like saying crazy shit to be funny, or like I'm exaggerating, or like I'm just kind of
I mean, you do a lot of that
Being
too,
silly.
so fucking...
yeah. So like, but then I think also that work is like because you don't actually have the opportunity to have long conversations.
Well, that's
you're,
usually not the job.
Busy and things. Yeah. So like, it's kind of yeah.
Certainly worth the
It's just the way it is, yeah. So like, yeah. But then I've never really spent time with them for long periods of time where we like weren't doing something. So even if we went like out, like after work or did something on the weekend as like a group or something, like it's always like a lot of people or like there's some activity or something going on. So it's not really about, you know, having deep like personal conversations. It's like
Really
of.
is.
yeah. So
Hey, Isaac, I've got some great news. And I know you've been waiting to hear it, but
oh my god.
my bicep looks so big today.
Wow.
I worked out, had a look in the mirror, and I was like, damn, that's a good bicep.
So you got a pump going.
Yeah, a good pump.
You trying to compete with me? Is that- You want to be stronger than me?
Dude, I'm way beyond you. You don't stand a chance.
You're literally one punch man.
Like, you can't keep up with my bicep, dude.
Yeah. Just the one. Not
Just the
both.
one.
Which one, left or right?
Yes.
There is no escape.
Here comes the catch.
if you want your arms so big,
How would you react if next time you saw it was completely fucking lopsided?
it was like you've been wanking a lot.
certainly worth
What?
the
You fucking wank with your bicep?
Well, I don't know the way you've been doing it. I don't know. You've just gone crazy with it.
I'm really struggling with the visual, but okay.
How would you like? So you
Like, fucking... No, like... there's no way.
you'd be
How
really,
would-
you'd have to position your arm where basically like every
Did
time
you
you pull,
rotate my hip? No, I didn't.
you'd have to like pull because you'd have to sort of pull.
Isaac,
more
I don't
than
like this
your
can of
arms would
worms you
want.
open.
Basically, what you'd have to do is have like a device.
I can
wanna-
immediately hear the bullshit because of your
God.
fucking pattern.
You need to basically have the full, like, you know, range of motion in your arm to get the bicep.
Oh, of course you do.
So you'd have to have almost like some sort of pulley lever system where like you pull something to get the like bicep to like, you know, work out. But then that in turn like cranks something else that jerks you off. Because I don't think you can get a full range of motion for your bicep with
I
just like
think so,
normal
either.
technique. And that's really weird
Classic
position.
problem.
Okay, next topic.
No, I think it's basically time for bed, man.
Okay, we're talking about beds. Okay.
But bets?
Do you
For
still
beds?
sleep on your front? Like a psychopath?
Yeah, it's how I sleep best.
Fucking
You're a psychopath, fuck you.
Fucking break your neck.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
unsolicited, and all the more valuable for it.
Isaac, can you imagine punching somebody in the chin and then like catching a bit of their ejaculate on yours?
Say that again. Punch them in the chin.
And then
What?
catching some of their ejaculate on yours.
Like punching them in the face makes them come.
Yes!
But then they're naked because like it would just go in their pants.
No, maybe it like ends it just in time because he punched them so hard.
It's that fast. It fucking like tears through it like a bullet.
Yes, sure.
Punch someone in
That
the
also
chin.
makes a lot of sense.
So, and it hits my chin. Like
Yes,
I get a facial basically.
yes.
I can imagine it, yes, but I can't see when that would actually happen.
Certainly worth the
What-
extra mile.
Maybe you should work on your right.
No, there is a way. There is a way that could happen where.
How would you
having-
explain it to somebody though?
Well, basically, what you're doing is you're having a threesome, and you're spit roasting, and then when he's like, say,
Isaac, what if this was your only power?
say threesome, right? The girl in the middle. I'm
Okay.
on the
Another dude,
like,
a devil's threesome?
yeah, it's another dude. So she's using her mouth on me, and he's fucking her, and then. As he's about to come, I punch him, so he like gets pushed back out, and then he comes and hits me in the face. That's how I can imagine that happening.
Good for you.
But then, yeah. So he's like, I'm gonna come. I'm like, no, don't. And I punch him.
He does.
He's like, I want it.
Give it to me.
Yeah. Don't in her, in my face.
Don't
And
be her.
he says no. It's like, I don't want to give it to you. And I'm so angry that I punch him.
Give me your cummies.
But if she can't have it, no one can punch. And then
Fucking
I get
psychopath.
cum in my face, which makes me cum, and then she gets in her face.
He's like, please.
Welcome
I can
to
only get
Genshin
so
Impact.
hard.
Yeah. Well,
What do you
it's
say?
right,
Welcome to
you know,
Genshin
well,
Impact.
Yeah. Well, the title of the talk is, the title of the stream is Sex on Mars. So,
So why not? If you think
just
about it.
imagine this threesome on Mars. There you go. Relevance.
Good point, Isaac. Good point. Good point. Okay, can I fucking get?
How
click the
far
thing.
would cum fly on Mars? Is this level
In a
gravity?
zero grav environment?
Well, then, no, there's gravity on Mars. It's just less
Yeah,
than
yeah.
heavy.
I'm just saying, like on the fucking
Yeah.
International Space Station.
How
How
is
do you think?
cum released? Is it like air pressure or muscles or something?
Air pressure? What do you think is like a fucking
Like, how does what is the mechanism of it being like shot out?
muscles? It's pressure. It's just not air. Where the fuck did air get involved?
Shine down.
I don't know.
Fucking, do you think it's like a super soaker? You just
Because
pop
like when
it
you
up.
fart, that's like pressure, isn't it? From air.
Yeah, I mean,
But then
depending
there's
how you want to
also
define it, it's pressure from your intestines and body, your everything inside, and there happens to be air there. Thereby, you're pushing pressure on the air, but it's not the air that's producing the pressure.
So it's not like a hydraulic system.
No. What do you expect me to say here, buddy?
Don't know. Trying to think. Well, I guess cum flies further on Mars, doesn't it?
Hum flies further. That's the title.
Cum flies further on Mars.
Fly me to the moon. Let me come on your stars.
Wonder, like, did you know that thing of like in space,
Someone
like
can ice cream.
old diseases like reactivate in space?
What?
Is it? I've talked about this before, haven't we?
That sounds familiar, but
Like someone had measles as a kid and they go to space, and then like because of the immune system and shit, like they get measles again in space.
what the fuck are the mechanisms around that?
I've no idea. But like, there's something to do with like no gravity, and then I don't know, whatever. So what other reasons things happen? But like,
Thanks, that really clears things up, Isaac.
like they get to space, and then after a while, like they just get
Okay.
diseases
sure.
they had before, like just
Yeah,
come
I understand
back.
the concept. Again, I was confused about the mechanism,
still
and then he
to do
just
with the immune
fucking,
system,
and then we
bro.
were just like, you think the thing defending you from the disease might be involved
Then-
in?
Where is the immune cells produced from? Because blood is from the bone marrow, right?
If you'd like to see Leo's toy
Lymph
spots,
nodes.
I
Wait,
have
no,
a few
fucking.
references.
It's a little confusing. I think there's like a part of the lymph system that produces it, and lymph nodes store them technically, but
Bone marrow.
Osmanthus wine tastes the same as
Cells of the
ours,
immune system originate in the bone marrow.
but where are those who share the memory?
is that true?
So maybe because you're like not walking, there's something to do with like less pressure on your bones, which like the pressure is needed as a part of like the production of stuff in your bone
Okay,
marrow.
how much are you hypothesizing right now, and how much are you
Yeah,
actually?
like a lot. Like this
Okay,
right
fine.
now is me just spitballing random shit.
Final day.
Like the different, like say you go into space and you're not like walking about and there's no like pressure.
There's
on
another
your bones
possibility is
surrounding.
that it's a completely different biome. There is like no fucking biodiversity up there. There's like no fucking bacteria. It's as sterile as it can get. Other people there,
I remember.
basically isolated as
Where
well.
are those who share the memory?
So there's like nothing for your body to fight against that at all. So it could just be going into hibernation for all I know.
Yeah.
Entering sleep mode.
When astral
Where
enters
do you want to go
microgravity, their
next?
blood shifts from their
If you'd like
legs
to
to their
see
torsos and
Leroy's
heads.
tourist spots, I have a
Okay.
few references.
The body resolves the problem by reducing the fluid by up to 15%. But that now means that there are too many immune cells crammed into this smaller amount of blood.
Can you believe this? shit?
Possible drop in gene activity helps eliminate extra cells.
Gene activity? What the fuck? Isaac, what is happening in this place?
Who knows?
Ah.
But what I'm saying,
Okay.
so could having babies in space affect
Gotcha.
the development of the fetus? Because maybe they don't get the immune system, or they get like diseases, or they,
I see everything. There is no escape.
I don't know, weird shit could happen.
I don't even know how to. Okay, do you just want to hypothesize, or do you have
Yeah,
something you
just
want to base
random-
this?
Randomly discussing.
Like, do you have something to base this hypothetical
I'm just
on?
interested
even?
in things of like, so like, so obviously when a woman's pregnant, right, the baby's in a, inside her,
In her butt. Yeah, I know. I know babies work, Isaac.
in her stomach, in the acid.
Close enough. In the butt.
Swimming
Yeah.
in the acid, yeah. Like, so there's always, like, the baby's always kind of like, it's affected by gravity, so it's like its position. And it's
Oh yeah,
the
how
way
would
it's
it orient itself in the
formed,
womb
yeah.
if it's there?
So is there like mechanisms within the body that like are
No.
designed in a certain way because like, we'll say like in us, the blood pumps, it has to go up against gravity when it goes into our heads and shit, but like it just falls down. Like it's not fighting gravity when the blood's flowing down to your legs and
Take
shit.
it easy.
So like, is there things in say like the placenta or like when the baby's growing that it's kind of like,
You don't look
Oh,
like a
it forms-
placentologist. How the
it forms its like back and leg bones first because the way it rests in the body is like it sort of like sits down because the gravity is pulling it down, and so its head is always at the
insane
top.
theories.
So like all this kind of shit. So like, what does the what
I like how
angle?
nonchalantly you're talking about this.
What angle is the baby inside? Is it always like head up?
5 degrees.
I don't know, because when the babies are born, they can come out like turn around and shit in the wrong way. But then, do they have full like 360-degree movement inside?
Easy money.
Isaac, 360 degrees are just for a circle. Like, we're talking fucking a 4-dimensional construct here. That's a lot of axes.
Yeah. Does a baby have full XYZ axis movement within? For you, like, you know,
Isaac,
within its house.
I need you to pay attention, okay? Maybe.
Oh shit.
I hope that clears things up.
Okay, yeah, I got it now.
Good.
Could you deliver a baby in space?
Depends on how you mean. Ow.
I wonder what happened if you like, can you produce breast milk in space?
It really improves the taste.
Everyone hold hands.
Has more.
It
has
turns
more
it into
bubbles.
skimmed milk because it doesn't know which direction to go, so it just
It's
shakes around.
carbonated. It's like busy.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh dear God.
Easy money.
now we're talking. Now you're speaking my language.
Solidify.
Fizzy milk. Jesus Christ.
Carbonated breast milk.
Quietly now.
I'm gonna
Has science gone too far?
go on ChatGPT. Can you buy
One
carbonated
man's
breast milk?
stone is another man's.
Asking for a friend.
And it says, please log out. Please
It
leave.
says I'm not legally allowed to answer this question.
I'm googling it.
Okay.
Take it easy.
8 breastfeeding myths.
I see everything.
Okay. How do myths come into this?
Fizzy drinks should be avoided while breastfeeding as they can cause your milk to become carbonated. This is total utter nonsense.
You don't say. Jesus Christ. Who the fuck? Do you think somebody drank a cola, tasted the breast milk, and went, oh! Like, what are they basing it on?
Just stupid people.
They're basing it on stupid people.
Like the stupid people come up with the ideas, the myths.
Good. It's more
During a
entertaining.
pregnancy, you need to toughen up your nipples using a nail brush. The
To
fuck?
what end? What are people talking about?
This is an old wives' tale. Your breasts and nipples will prepare for breastfeeding all by themselves. Like, because the baby's going to be, like, sucking on them, so, like, it's going to be, like, painful, so you need to, like, make the skin tougher. Like, get, like, calluses almost.
Yeah, nothing's harder than a calloused nipple. Fucking. This just reminds me of Louis C.K. when he's talking about, like, a real woman has chewed up nips. You haven't fucking. You haven't had a relationship, but they suck on those fucking poor, chewed up, elongated nips. It's some fucking weird, wild shit that I'm sure his wife was really happy about him talking about. Why does it feel like you're Googling shit still? Isaac, what are you reading?
Trying to find
Plus?
carbonated breast milk.
Oh, we're still on that train of thought, are we? Just really need this carbonated breast milk.
I'm wondering if this thing people have made. Did you know you can where there's like machines that carbonate things for you?
Yeah. So you can do it.
I don't like milk anyway.
I just, well, okay, what does matter? Might as well carbonate it then. What do you? What
That
does
would
this
sound
do
like a
with this
prank to
information?
play on someone. Like you make them a bowl of cereal, but you put like carbonated milk.
What would be pretty
And then
funny?
they like what would it?
Hey,
Would it like taste it? Or like
You
would a
think?
carbonated milkshake be nice? Fizzy.
I mean,
Like
you sort of
chocolate.
have that. Like in America, they have shit like root beer floats, which I never understood because
Yeah.
like combining creamy with fizzy just doesn't like it sounds nauseating. I've spilled a soda into my cereal and tried eating it. That did not fucking go well.
Yikes.
No, you
I like Coca-Cola floats are nice. It's like the root beer float. I like
never had
those.
it.
Madness.
I'll take your word for it. Although to me it sounds like dumb. Got him.
I had them when there's like one place that did them, and then whenever I'd go there, I'd get one, and that was like
The best.
15 years ago, like maybe
Jesus
20
Christ,
years
how
ago.
old are you?
I'm 95. Well, I think 3 times as fast, so I'm 32, so 90,
95.
96.
Okay. Really sticking to that answer. Huh?
Imagine me at 90.
I don't have to.
Dear God.
You're functionally there already.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you yang about?
Close to death.
Hell yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, on like they do really good like 3DS and Nintendo DS emulators on the phone now. So I've
On
just
the
been,
what?
like, on your phone.
Oh no, I didn't know about that.
And, like,
What a
it's all
fun
free, and
fact.
you just download the ROMs. So like I'm playing finishing all the like Professor Layton and like Ace Attorney,
Oh hell yeah.
and like finally
Aren't they good?
Well, I finally played Chrono Trigger at the end.
Oh, you never finished it.
Nah. Because I like sold my DS, I think. No, just
Chrono Trigger's so good.
yeah. I got to like
Did you
Like
get
the-
Magus? Like that's one of like the coolest parts of that game for me.
the robot. Is that a robot?
No, the robot's called Robo. It's pretty easy to remember, Isaac.
Robot. Okay. I think I got to the point where like you go in the future and it's like you find the robot. Quite near the beginning of the game, I think.
That's really early. Oh, so you just started it. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said you had finished it, but you're going to finish it, is what you mean. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been no, I haven't finished it.
Fuck, I don't want to spoil anything then.
Don't spoil it.
But you made it pretty
Yeah.
far in the last game, right? Your last playthrough. Do you remember?
Well, that's where I got to, the robot.
Oh, that's the very beginning.
That's how far I got, yeah.
You haven't gotten anywhere, dude. That game's fucking amazing. You need to play more.
I've got it downloaded, I just need to play it.
Well, fucking get to
Certainly
it.
worth the extra mile.
Where? It's on Steam, I think. I don't have it on Steam.
I'm not sure there's
Stabilize.
any
Illusion shattered.
anything negative about getting it on Steam. I see, like, I'm so used to seeing people complain that I never know which arguments are valid.
Solidify.
Yeah.
But
probably just
I
find
haven't
on it.
remembered seeing any complaints about it on Steam, really.
Well, if my fucking emulator works on my phone, I'm sure I can get a DS emulator on my computer. Because they have Chrono Trigger DS. So like that.
Yeah, probably. It's just,
But I just do it on my
because
phone
because of
and
the
I'm
stylus simulation, it can get too wonky sometimes. I don't know what
Every
it is.
day
yeah,
has
with
its
the
final
mouse.
day.
But
Don't rush.
Yeah,
if you
it's
could actually
pretty-
get a 3DS and play 999,
Well, I can play it
that's
on my
never gonna
phone.
play. Yeah, if they can simulate it properly, so you have like the dual screen interface thing, because that's part of the experience that made it so cool.
Yeah,
think
it's
it-
like dual screen.
Yeah,
It's like they do half-half, yeah.
but it's not just that. It's like the having it in your hand, because I don't want to say too much because I don't want to
Well,
develop the
basically the way-
expectation.
the way
I'm
it
just saying,
works,
like they thought about so many things that they even incorporated like the fact that you have a DS into the story, and like you actually basically interact with it in new ways suddenly, and it's fucking wonky or wacky. It's not wonky.
Well, the way
it's good.
on the phone is basically you just have like it's like the screen, but then you
No escape.
Take it easy.
basically just have the two screens the DS would have.
Yeah, I'm just saying that like part of the problem with having it on PC is that you don't really have the double screen thing effectively, or having it in your hand so you can interact with it in the same way that you would originally. Because again, they just do some really cool shit with it that can't
guess,
get recreated on PC.
I guess it's fine on the phone. It's just the phone. What they do is they have all the controls at like the bottom of the screen.
Ah,
So like imagine like a normal like phone screen. It's like a portrait, you know, portrait orientation. So it's like, you know, 500 pixels by 1,000, whatever.
sure.
So they basically split it into like the two screens for like the two DS screens, and then at the bottom you have this like black box where all the controls are, like A, B, arrows, the bumper buttons and stuff. So like you can play it with like one thumb, right?
Yeah, like
So
nothing about the description was surprising. It's pretty much how I expected them to.
yeah, but then
do
like
it.
when you're saying about in 999 or whatever, is it like because normally on a DS you'd have like both hands and like the bumpers with like each finger and things, would it like not work as well? Or you're describing it, or is it just because you're using your hands? It's fine.
There might be other elements where that would be important, but not in the example that I'm thinking of that should still work on the phone. It says, I weirdly enough would recommend you playing it with a guide just so you do things in a certain sequence. Because even though it's meant to be replayed, I think it gets fatiguing having to loop through parts unnecessarily.
Right. Well, it's called Zero Escape. Or is that different?
Yes, and also called Zero Time Dilemma. It has, like, it's a franchise, and the first game has like a name, and then it also has like multiple subtitles and shit. So it's fucking confusing every time I try to recommend it.
First two entries in the series: 9 hours, 9 persons.
9 doors. Oh, it's 9 hours. I always forget the 9 hours part.
Oh, that's on DS. So 999 is on DS. Is the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, so Virtue's Last Reward is the second. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll see what happens. Well, because I play them when I'm like on my way to work on the train, and like on my lunch break and stuff. So I'll just get to it
Good
eventually.
for you.
Because the problem is I couldn't really play like Super Mario 3D World on my phone because it's like you need the like because the 3DS has they have the like joystick almost, so it'd be really awkward on your phone because it's like
The
portrait
virtual joystick
orientation.
doesn't work well enough.
Well, it could, but basically like imagine you're trying to use 2 thumbs on your phone, and it's like really small space, so it's like it doesn't really work. So games where it's like high speed, like lots of button pushing, doesn't really work on the phone. So like games where it's like Professor Layton where you just click shit, it's fine.
Sure.
Ace Attorney.
I just hope fat fingers aren't going to be a problem fucking on 999.
It's not like button mashing, is it?
No. It's just that there might be some clickables that require more precision, and then it's going to feel like pixel hunting because it used to have a stylus. Again, I just hope it's not the case, but what else can I do? I think, wait, that might be a problem because I think there was a button to just highlight interactables for you. So if you ever feel like you're lost, you could just do that.
Yeah. There's websites that just have like every 3DS and DS like ROM you can just download and just load them on your phone. Is
Hell
there
yeah.
any, can you think of any other like DS games, 3DS games that are like
I've been hoping to play
would be good on a
fucking
phone?
Breath of the Wild on PC at this point, actually. Here's the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild. I need to sort my shit out.
Oh yeah, because does that work? What emulator is it? Is it a Wii U emulator? No. Switch emulator.
Yes.
Have they got that up and running yet?
I don't know. I just don't know.
Because I played Breath of the Wild.
I
I
know.
I uninstalled the Wii U. Well, I got a new computer, so. But it was really wonky, like installing it last time.
So you don't want to do it?
Well, no, I'll do it, but it's just an effort, like.
Take it easy.
Because last time it was like file directories and then like importing shader packs and then compiling and
Really? Okay.
yeah, it was kind of wonky. But maybe it's better now with a better UI or something.
Were you asking for DS games?
Yeah. Well, games that like, if you can remember, like
It's been so long. Like, there's a site I used called GameRankings.com, which is probably really old and outdated at this point. But I didn't. I often just like looked up the top games and just like, okay, these are the ones I should go for.
GameRankings.com.
Yeah. And then you can
What's a
sort by
video game?
console and shit.
GamesRankings.com is shutting down. Okay.
So they're doing well.
Here's an
This is booming.
archived spreadsheet of all their scores. Okay. Thanks.
Because they used both, like Metacritic, they had like a user score and a critic score. And I'm the guy who usually goes by the critic score, honestly. Like, I find it funny how many people still make this absolutely retarded argument that journalists, or rather, like, reviewers' opinions are supposed to reflect the majority's opinion. I still can't believe that there's still people who make that argument. Like, if it doesn't align, that means, like, something's not working.
I don't know.
It's like, if you want the majority opinion parroted at you, just go to the fucking Metacritic website or whatever the fuck and go by majority opinion. There it is. There's your number. There's the thing you're looking for. Why the fuck are you asking critics to fall in line? Like, it sounds like it comes from such a place of weak ego that it's like, it just sounds pathetic to me. And the fact that it doesn't come across that way to like almost anybody else is just fascinating to me.
But I found a spreadsheet with them all, and you can like filter it by like console.
Yeah, you could.
3DS, Fire Emblem, Pushmo. I remember Pushmo. That was pretty good.
There were so many like minigame type things on 3DS that were really good, but I always wanted meatier things, so I skipped so much.
Fire Emblem, Pokemon.
Like, what was it called? Luminous? That was a weird like rhythm puzzle game thing. Oh wait, was that on PSP? Fuck, I might be confusing.
so-
Yeah.
Because 3DS had Pushmo and Crashmo.
Well,
Remember those?
what was that? Push my nuts. Got him.
Yeah, Zero Escape got 87. Out of
As it
100.
should.
Is Dragon Quest turn-based? It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, most of them are.
Pokemon. Let's go to DS.
Pokemon sucking these nuts.
Okay, the highest ranking DS game.
Hell yeah,
Grand Theft
let's
Auto
go.
Chinatown Wars.
Oh yeah, I heard that was supposed to be really good.
I heard that as well. I never played it.
Me neither.
Chrono Trigger number 2.
I mean, That was one of the top games on the Super Nintendo as well. So fucking.
Yeah. Elite Beat Agents.
Oh yeah, that was a collection of rhythm games. But like, if you're gonna play that shit at work, that's probably good because you get like bite-sized challenges. Also has this funny Nintendo story presentation to things that go on.
Yeah. The world ends
This
with
seems
you.
true. Oh, that's like it's a fucking Kingdom Hearts shit. I never got around to it.
Oh,
Like it could be
yeah.
good, it could be fucking awful because it's that fucking. It's got that Kingdom Hearts stank on it.
Yeah. Kirby Canvas Curse.
Classic.
Yeah.
I mean, that might just be another fucking Kirby game, which isn't going to be particularly exciting.
Might and Magic Clash of Heroes.
Really? Might the
DS.
Magic game? In...
Oh, it's
There
like
it
a.
is. Yeah. What
So
the-
it's like Candy Crush. Like it
Might
looks
the
kinda like that.
Magic is like Candy Crush.
Well, like visually, it looks like that. It's like rows and columns of enemies.
Okay, I mean, it could be that it plays like that, but I've never heard about
Animal.
that game being like that. So,
It's like Animal Crossing doesn't need online stuff, does it?
no.
No.
Animal Crossing is fucking fantastic, but it's like a time vampire thing and it just has like a cozy vibe. I remember there being an article about a grandmother with like 3,000 hours into that game.
Now you shall perish.
I personally really like it, but
A momentary distraction.
you who don't like wasting your time, I'm not sure if you have the mentality to get into it.
No, don't think so.
You should give it
But
a
I
try
understand
anyway,
it.
though.
Yeah, it's free.
You know, the most important part.
Phoenix, right? It's Attorney.
Always a classic.
Bleach, Dark Souls.
Bleach, Dark Souls.
Yeah, that's what it says. The game name. Sid Meier's Civilization on DS.
What?
Oh,
I am struggling.
oh, okay. It's weird. It's like some sort of turn-based thing.
I mean, Civ is turn-based, but
Like some weird like battle simulator thing or something.
Civ.
God, it looks like a fucking mess. It's like a world map with tiles and just like a million things on the screen.
If it's highly rated, it's probably for a reason.
81.
Take it easy.
Mm.
81, he says.
Have you played Dragon Quest? Is it any good?
I've really liked a lot of the Dragon Quests. They like which ones did I play? I said I liked a lot of the Dragon Quests. I haven't actually played a lot of the Dragon Quests, but the Dragon Quests that I played, I did like. I think it's the 8th one.
Dragon Quest 8 Journey of the Cursed King.
That's on DS?
Boats are
Yeah.
made for transferring commodities
3DS.
back and forth. Osmanthus wine tastes.
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. It has like a really good fairy tale feel where like it has some almost abstract logic. Fuck me. I mean, and it also had some twists
Certainly worth
that
the
I
extra mile.
really liked. But you know,
Yeah.
can't tell you about
Like-
twists.
The 3D movement might be awkward on the phone, but yeah.
Well, then it would have been awkward on 3DS most likely. So just
Yeah.
assume some competency, I guess.
But on the emulators, it lets you like adjust the layout of all the button positions, so you can like make it easier.
Cool. Do that.
Okay, at least you don't have to control the camera as well. It just does it for you. Hmm. Right. Bravely Default, Fire Emblem. Are they any good?
Bravely Default I really liked, but they did this one thing that pretty much fucked up my ability to play the game, and it's incomprehensible, but if you're going to play it, I feel like I shouldn't mention it. But I really enjoyed it because you have like these class and team building element. Actually, if you're going to play Bravely Default, you should play the second one and just forget about the first one. Because the second one is like a better version of the first one. It has like more charm and charisma, but it's lower rated basically because it's too similar. But the things that it does, it just does better, honestly.
Right. I think I did play Fire Emblem Awakening. I never finished it.
I like the Fire Emblem games, but I gotta be honest, they're so similar to each other that I basically can't be bothered to play another one for the rest of my life, probably, because they never change. They're just all the same structure all the way through.
Yeah.
And it's too basic. Like, might as well play XCOM, I guess. Although XCOM, I also have gripes with. Like, I get so fucking annoyed when there's games that just can't, like, when they say they're like fans of XCOM, they copy like fucking everything, including things that aggravate me. Like, I don't like the feeling of permanently fucking myself because like a character died in the games, but a lot of people want to make XCOM and then still recreate that feeling of a downward spiral if you first start dying. I don't understand that. Like, I actually like the idea of being able to, or being able and willing to sacrifice all your characters, because then you can think like way more strategically, where it's like, okay, I'm actually going to sacrifice this character. But when you're in the other game, then it is like, okay, well, this has like so many long-term repercussions, I can't even consider it as a strategy.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to my TED Talk.
Fuck video games.
I know, they're so good they ruin my life.
Oh yeah, I might as well go as well. Fucking late.
Hey, you've held me hostage this far, Isaac.
Oh.
I can't just leave now just because it's convenient for you.
Take it easy.
I can do what I want.
You absolutely can.
I'm a
But you
grown
should
man.
want... What?
I'm a grown man. Okay?
Isaac, the term is grown ass man.
No, I don't have an ass. It just goes from back to legs. There's no ass.
Good to know. I don't really know what to imagine.
I saw someone like that the other day. Freaking weird.
I kind of want to start watching King of the Hill.
Yeah.
I've heard that it's gotten sort of a new lease on life, I guess, or however you want to phrase it, where it's gotten like re-popular again
I
for
think
no real reason.
I remember watching at least some episodes when I was younger, but like,
Yeah, but it has like more adult humor, but it's also sort of like tame by comparison to a lot of other shows. But it's like, it's gotten more appreciation recently. whatever reason.
Yeah. It's kind of like it's like sort of like Bob's Burgers, but like much chiller.
Yeah,
And
but
more,
Bob's
like,
Burgers has like
serious.
this modern wow quirkiness and shit to it that I'm.
If you're not sure what to do next,
Yeah.
how about I take you on a walk?
It's almost like early Simpsons where it was like,
Yeah,
yeah, serious stuff.
yeah, but still like both more serious and adult. But like to what degree it's adult is a little
Yeah.
like you have to be an adult to relate to a lot of things. I think is the problem.
Yeah.
Whereas like Simpsons, you can watch as a kid and get most of it.
Yeah. Hmm.
How do I leave
What they
co
say is
mode?
true.
There it is.
You have to see the world for yourself to appreciate how beautiful it is.
But yeah, you're right. Time to go to bed, Lameo.
See ya.
You sure about that?
Bye. Ciao.
Ciao, Bella. Sit tight,
Yes.
Isaac.
Bye.
Let's talk again soon.
Bye.
And try to write down some topics you find are interesting throughout the day, and then you bring it back up when.
No.
Yes.
Me, myself, and I.
What the fuck? Why are you making this confusing? Just fucking do what I. You said
Okay.
me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
Those are things that are interesting to you. Was that your point?
That's the topic list. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, feel free.
Oh, I will.